Whenever I'm stressed out, it's an indication that I don't have a strategy or a structure for where I am. Stress is a warning bell that you need to reboot, recalibrate, or even change your structure or your strategy. But no matter whether your progress is up or down, always remember that you wouldn't be stressed or frustrated if you weren't close to what you're trying to achieve. Today, I'm talking about powerful strategies for a profitable leader. My name is Kamila Brown-Washington. I'm a nonprofit founder and the CEO of the Profitable Blueprint and the $1 Million CEO Mastermind. I'm on a mission to help nonprofit founders with online programs just like you all over the world grow your business in a way that's profitable and scalable. I'm having candid and transparent conversations about what it really takes to scale your online business to millions of dollars per year without self-funding or being solely dependent upon grants. Join me to learn the CEO decisions I've had to make, the biggest failures I've had to overcome, and the strategic wisdom that emerged every step of the way. I'm humbled and grateful to have this opportunity to share it with you right here on Level Up with Kamila, the podcast designed for nonprofit founders with online programs. The only thing you can count on is that there will always be change. And as an entrepreneur, you really need to determine what drives you to success and becoming a profitable leader. In essence, it's important for you to understand what's your why. And as leaders, we must plan to have a strategy for the good as well as the bad. Many times when you look at someone's resume or their bio, you would think that they never had any failures whatsoever because all they talk about is the success in their accomplishments, right? So it just looks like it's just a straight uphill, ladder of success. But we learn just as much from our failures as we do from our success. And I never want you to despise small beginnings. I was talking to my father the other day, and we were talking about a particular event that took place in our past. And he referenced, remember when we were homeless your sophomore year? And I kind of took aback because I never realized at that particular point in my life that we were actually homeless, but we were, because we didn't fit that stereotypical homeless person. We weren't living in our car. We weren't living in a shelter or under a bridge. And, we always had something to eat. We had a place to sleep. We were actually living in a motel. And I, grew up with both of my parents, and I have an older brother, and all four of us lived in this motel for a period of, a time. But everything else in our life was normal. We went to private school. We still did our activities, went to games, went to friends, houses. And like I said, we ate and slept like everything was normal. We were just in between places, which apparently, Cami, is the definition of being homeless, right? But psychologically, again, I did not look at that situation as being homeless. But needless to say, that incident, as well as, other incidents growing up with my parents not really being financially stable, has made me who I am today. Since I was probably 15, I've always had multiple jobs, always. Minimum 2, maximum maybe 4 or 5. But I've always wanted to make sure that there's a cushion. And I never wanted to be in a position to where, my son had to experience some of the ups and downs of, financial burdens that we had to experience growing up. So the point I'm making is that experience, as well as others in my life, have made me who I am. So please never despise your small beginnings, because they do shape and mold who you are. The number one quality to me in team members that no one really talks about. There's a quality that I think will make or break the progress and the success of your growth, right? So as you start to build your team, whether it's your board of directors, a committee, volunteers, paid staff, contractors, whatever that happens to be, however you want to build your team, we all have heard of IQ, right? And that's intellectual quotient. And that basically just is an assessment to determine how intellectually smart you are. So when you go on a job interview and the recruiter or, HR is, asking you questions about your past, about your school, your GPA, any supervisory roles that you may have had, accomplishments, awards, etc. Basically, they're trying to determine, are you smart? Okay. The other assessment is EQ, which is emotional quotient. And it helps to determine your range of emotion and how you can handle stress and pressure. So, in essence, they want to know, can they trust you emotionally? And do you have the wherewithal to handle their vision, to take that company's vision to that next level, right? But there's another assessment that I think is equally, if not more important, and that's called AQ. And AQ stands for adaptability quotient. How do you respond to change? Leading your business will involve unprecedented growth as well as unexpected setbacks. And you really need to know what you're getting into, but you never know until it happens, whether it's you or whether it's your team members. You never really know, because on the outside, when you present yourselves to your audience, to your public, to your village, your clients, whatever that happens to be, as well as team members who are going to come interview to join your organization, it's always the representative. You never really know what you're getting until their back is against the wall. And it reminds me of, there's a point I was in school and I was, dating a guy, and he was a football player, and he was like the star athlete. He was super, super smart. And most of the girls wanted to kind of hook up with him, right? And so there's a group of us that went to this amusement park. It was either Disneyland or Knott's Berry Farm. I couldn't remember which one. And so we got on this roller coaster, and I love roller coasters. So we get on this roller coaster, and he's clutching on to me and screaming like a girl. He could not handle the roller coaster, right? So the point I'm making is, as smart as someone may be, as intellectual as someone may be, you never really know what their weaknesses are, how they handle stress, pressure, change until certain situations, occur. So as a successful business owner, you really learn from your lows how to ride the highs, in essence. Okay. So if you can't take the dip, you can't make the climb. And you might be screaming on the inside, much like dude over here, but you really need to remain calm and really be able to project a certain level of confidence as a leader, because there's nothing more frightening than a scared leader. So many of you who follow me, know I travel internationally as well as, domestically. So needless to say, I'm on the plane quite a bit, right? So I really don't get nervous if there's a situation on the plane. I really don't get nervous until the person in charge gets nervous, right? So as long as they can convey a message that's clear and concise and they're calm, I'm good, right? So the pilot comes on, or the flight attendant makes the announcement, okay, I need everyone to, buckle your seatbelt. We're going to experience a little bit of turbulence. We are approaching a small storm. We're going to fly through these clouds, but on the other side, it's going to be free and clear. Everything's good. They're good. I'm good. I'm going back to watch my movie or I'm going back to sleep, right? But if someone gets on the intercom and they're conveying a message with panic and fear and terror, I don't hear any of the details. Like, now, if you're nervous, now I'm nervous. So if if you or your team, really can't adapt quickly, you're going to lose it before you really even have an opportunity to build it. And a blessing isn't a blessing if you can't handle it. So have you ever seen like a dog chasing a car, cars driving down the neighborhood and there's this dog, woo, like trying to chase this car, right? So let's just say that the dog catches up with the car. Maybe the car stops at a stop sign or at a red light. Does the dog even know what they're going to do if they catch up with the car? Does the dog even realize or take into consideration that they don't know how to drive, right? So my question to you is, are you chasing something that you can't drive? You could be praying to win something or to achieve something that you really can't handle if you do receive it. Many of us, business owners, our goal, we want to get to 6 figures, then we want to get to 7 figures, right? But if you had a 6 or 7 figure business, do you have the infrastructure to sustain it effectively? If your client enrollment increased by an additional 10 to 20 clients every month, would each client achieve the same desired result, which is your program promise, right? Whatever you say, like if you enroll in my program after 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever that happens to be, you're going to achieve this. I'm going to get you from point A to point B, right? If your enrollment increased by 10 to 20 clients every single month, would each client achieve the same result every single time consistently? So when I come back, I have a few more power strategies as a profitable leader.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kimberly Wayne, the founder and executive director of Jules Academy. Jules Academy is an organization that gets girls 4th through 12th grade more interested in STEM-related careers, STEM being science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I am just so excited to be here. One of the biggest things for me that really stood out to us is how to get that word out, is that we really need to focus in on how we promote and leverage social media. The aha moment that I had is really just the leveraging of the information that all the CEOs have had. So our goal, I could see just finished with the exercise of strategic planning. Our goal is to really try to double the number of students that we're serving now. So I am so excited to go back to where we serve and share the information with my board and also our staff. One special thing I love about Kamila is that she's open to sharing her knowledge. She is very transparent, and I really appreciate her willingness to teach and to share her experiences of her success. So if you need coaching, professional coaching in your nonprofit management to take it to the next level, I highly recommend this exclusive organization.
All right, we're back with Level Up with Kamila. I'm sharing powerful strategies for a profitable leader, okay? So write this down. Here are 5 qualities that any business, whether you're nonprofit, for-profit, it really doesn't matter, but if you want to be a sustainable, profitable, effective business, here are 5 strategies that you have to have in place, especially if you're at like a mid 6-figure, trying to get to 7 or 8-figure, in revenue, right? So 1 is strategic vision. 2 is cash flow. 3 is alliance with your team. 4 is leadership. And 5 is execution. So if you take the first letter of each of those, that spells scale. So you want to be able to scale through a strategic vision, cash flow, alliance with your team, leadership, and then execution. If you look at any profitable business, let's say it's a fast food chain, right? Chick-fil-A. Love myself some Chick-fil-A. So you go to Chick-fil-A, whether you're in New York or California, your experience, your end result is going to be the same. It's going to be consistent. You know, it's the same. The food's going to taste the same. The service is going to be the same. Your whole experience is going to be the same. And that's what you want with your business. You want to build a business that's based on effective strategies and systems that you have in place so that your clients, your customers, your participants, whatever you want to, call them, that they receive the same result every single time, right? You want it on rinse and repeat. You also need to understand that every idea is not meant to be a business. Sometimes it's just a really good idea. Or sometimes that idea is really just like a really cool hobby or, a project. If you cannot apply those 5 principles to the idea that you have for an online business or for a business period, it's not going to generate revenue. It's not going to be sustainable. Okay. So leadership is when there is a commitment to stability in the midst of fluctuation. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back, okay? Leadership is when there is a commitment to stability in the midst of fluctuation, okay? So the only thing that really should be consistent in your business as you're, projecting your path for progress is you. You are the one thing that has to be consistently stable at all times. So when you experience bad news, and it's going to happen inevitably because that's the way life is, right? You need to make sure that you deliver a clear, concise message. Hello, AT&T, I cannot pay you this month. I will pay you next month on such and such day. Or I need an extension until such and such day. Whatever that happens to be, it needs to be clear and concise. When you are sharing content with your audience, as you're building connection through whatever platform that you're using, whether it's social media or a podcast or a blog or YouTube video, whatever it is, however you're building connection for your audience so you can start generating prospects that are going to eventually convert to paying clients, your message has to be crystal clear because it helps to create and manage their expectations so that you avoid disappointment. People can handle bad news if they can trust your message. But without a clear, concise, articulated message, you have damage control over and over and over again. So think about that person that you broke up with, right? And you were nervous and you didn't really want to hurt their feelings, but you just knew that this relationship is not going in the right direction, or you're just not happy, whatever that happens to be, right? So you might kind of dance around the issue, you don't exactly say, I really want to break up. You might say, I think we should take a break, or I think we should see other people, whatever that happens to be. But your interpretation of the message that you're giving them is completely different from the message that they're receiving. In your mind, you're saying we broke up. In their mind, they're saying, okay, we're just taking a little break, whatever that happens to be. Either we're together or we're not. But I get it. People do that. But the point I'm making is, You're wondering why this person is still calling you, why they're still coming over, why they're still sending you text messages, why they still want to know when you guys can, go out again. Because the message wasn't clear, right? The same with your audience, with your prospects. Like you want to generate or you want to attract and generate prospects who are qualified for your program, that are more than willing to pay you for your level of expertise based on the value that you can bring through your program. The fact that you can get them from point A to point B, you can solve that one problem with excellence and consistency. That's what you want. But if you're not articulating the value of your program, then you're going to have to continue to kind of dummy down and reduce your price. And then that's a whole nother issue. That's a whole nother topic. I probably need to do a video or a podcast on, right? Because you have not, one, set up a certain level of qualifications for your audience, for your customer. They have to qualify. You can't just let any random person in your program. And if you want to charge, I'm throwing out a number, you want to charge $1,000, but you find yourself only attracting people who want to pay $50, you're going to get what you pay for, right? So these $50 people are not going to show up and do the work and get the results and allow you to document their testimonials and their success, because they're not showing up. But you drop a stack on, a program. You about to show up every day, all day, on time, right? Because that's $1,000. So I want you to understand the importance of being able to deliver a clear, concise, articulated message under any circumstances to your board, to your team, to your contractors, to your volunteers, whoever that happens to be. Be decisive and be clear as a leader, okay? Stress is an indication that you don't have a strategy or a structure in place. Stress is also a warning bell that you need to reboot, recalibrate, or put some type of new system in place. Now, the good news is you wouldn't be stressed or frustrated if you weren't close to whatever you're trying to achieve, okay? That's the good news. So, do you know the most important part of a football game? Typically any game, but let's just use football as an example, okay? What's the most important part of a football game? I'm gonna give you some time. Go ahead and think through. And you might be saying it's the quarterback. Nope, it's the receiver. Nope, it's the owner. Nope, it's the referee. All wrong. The most important part of a football game is the clock. Because the clock lets you know that there's a certain period of time to accomplish your goal. It creates a sense of urgency and a deadline. And without a sense of urgency or a deadline, the game will just go on continuously, much like baseball. Okay. So every plan, every play has to have a plan, has to be strategic, and has to be intentional. The same with your business. When you're in a game, you're not just going to pull some random dude off the bench just because he hasn't played in the game yet. Like, oh, well, we haven't let, so-and-so play. Let's put him in. No. You have to have your best players on at all times because you have a goal. That clock is ticking. Same with your business, okay? You need to have strategies and systems in place so you can achieve the goals that you desire by the time frame that you have set, okay? My coaching programs are designed to give you the plays for your playbook. And as you dig deeper into your programs, you'll walk away with a sense of urgency to create the profit by the deadline that you create, because now you have systems and strategies in place to achieve your end result, right? So if you're a nonprofit founder with an online program and you're trying to generate consistent monthly revenue by monetizing your expertise, which is your intellectual property, then I invite you to apply to the Profitable Blueprint. And if you're a nonprofit founder already at 6 figures, trying to build an infrastructure to support 7 or 8 figures, I invite you to apply to the $1 Million CEO Mastermind. Please go to KamilaBrownWashington.com or click the link below. We'll chat soon.